I hope you all are fine. Well, so we are discussing the chapter 5 in your class 11 ISC chemistry, and the name of the chapter was what? States of matter, or we are studying it as gaseous state, right? And today in this class we have taken a very important topic, but easy. If you understand this topic, this is one of the easiest topic, but it is going to be one of the most important topic as well. So you can see today's topic is Graham's law of diffusion. So before I tell more about Graham's law, let me tell a little bit about this term diffusion. In your lower classes you have learned this term diffusion. You have studied the difference between diffusion and osmosis, right? So diffusion means nothing else but moving the molecules from a higher pressure region or a higher concentration region to a lower concentration region or lower pressure region. Okay, say like I have a glass of water. Say there is water. Now if you just drop one drop of ink, if you just let one drop of ink to be fallen in this water, the drop will be falling like this, right? But slowly it will be sprayed. So this happening, this spreading of the ink is what? Diffusion. What is happening? When the ink got dropped, the concentration of the ink molecules that was highest nearby, but in the other part the concentration was not very high, right? So what is happening? Molecules of ink are getting mixed with the entire of water. So molecules of ink, they are getting sprayed from the higher concentration region or higher pressure region of the ink to the lower concentration region. So I hope you understood what is diffusion. Suppose when you do not like the smell of your room, sometimes you put on an air freshener, okay, or let's say one incense stick, agarbatti. What happens? The smell gets spread to the entire room. How the smell gets spread? The fragrance or the smoke of the incense stick that moves the molecules present in those fragrance. There the molecules move from the higher concentration level of those molecules to the lower concentration level, right? So I hope you understood the meaning of diffusion. Here another term we need to discuss, that is effusion. Okay, instead of di we will write just e. What? Effusion. And effusion is also the mechanism of effusion or the process of effusion is exactly same like diffusion, but remember when we are talking about effusion, then the diffusion happens through a pinhole or a very tiny hole, small hole. Okay, fine orifice we can say. If you want to know a better language, fine orifice. Okay, suppose like one pipe is there, here is a very small tiny hole, then the process will be what? Effusion, right? Suppose here one gas is kept, okay, and there is a hole, then what will happen? The gases will come out. So this is what is what? Effusion. But say if this much is open, if the way is big, then we will call it diffusion. Okay, so sometimes you may come across this term and they may ask you also. So now you know what is diffusion and what is effusion, right? So now let's come to what is the law of diffusion or law of effusion. Okay, so according to Graham's law of diffusion, okay, please mark my words, according to Graham's law of diffusion, the rate of diffusion, what? The rate of diffusion. Okay, the rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the gas. This is what is Graham's law of diffusion. Okay, it is very easy to understand. Suppose this is one vessel, one-sided open vessel. This is also another side, another vessel, and here say gas A is there, here gas B is there. You tell me, if the density of gas A is more than density of gas B, then the molecules will not move so fast, right? So the rate will decrease, rate of diffusion will decrease. If you are still feeling confused, okay, see, density is more means what? Heavy, right? So one heavy person walks very fast, runs very fast, or a slim person runs very fast. You all know very well, right? So that is why for gases also it is the very same. If the density is less, rate is more. Okay. So if the density of A is less than B, then what will happen? A will be diffused fast, right? So now according to Graham's law of diffusion, this is the rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of density of the gas. But in the numericals, from this portion, numericals are very important and they are very easy if you understand. In the numericals, density will not be connected directly, but what will be connected? Molar mass. Okay. So in another way, I am writing the application of Graham's law will be mostly with the molar mass. So I am writing the rate of diffusion. Okay. The rate we write by R. The rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of molar mass. M. M means what? Molecular mass. Okay. So now say one gas is R. The rate of diffusion of one gas is R1 and the rate of diffusion of another gas is R2. So according to Graham's law, what you can write? R1 is inversely proportional to the molar mass of the gas 1, that is M1, and similarly in this way we can write for R2, right? R2 is also inversely proportional to the square root of the molecular mass of the second gas, right? Now if we just write R1 by R2, what we can write? What we are trying to write? R1 by R2. So combining these two equations, we can write R1 by R2 inversely proportional to, or like equal to also we can write M2 by M1. Alright. So this will be our working formula for many numericals. Okay. So please mark this one very nicely. Now let me tell you rate of diffusion. Okay. Rate of diffusion is not only dependent on molecular mass or density, or like rate of diffusion is also depends upon pressure, area and temperature. Okay. So R depends on pressure also, area of the container, okay, where the diffusion is taking place, area, the temperature, the absolute temperature T and M. So from here you can understand that this thing is true. Okay, this thing is true when the pressure and temperature constant. So when you will be writing or stating the Graham's law of diffusion, you have to state the rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the gas, but you have to mention P, A and T constant, pressure and temperature constant, and area also you have to mention that. So if Graham's law of diffusion is asked, what will you write? Pressure and temperature remaining constant, the rate of diffusion of any gas is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the gas, right? But one formula I have taught you in this gaseous state only, when I discussed about ideal gas equation, B equals to Pm by RT, right? Density equals to pressure multiplied molecular mass divided upon R by RT, right? Another formula in your class 10 you have learned, vapor density equals to molecular mass by 2, right? So based on these formulas, what we can conclude, density and molecular mass, they are directly proportional, because here also molecular mass is above not down, right? So density and molecular mass, they are proportional. So if the rate is inversely proportional to the square root of D, then it is going to be inversely proportional to the square root of M also. But what I said, that only molecular mass is not a factor which will control the rate, but also pressure, area, A for area, and temperature also plays a role. So you may note down this formula also, this will also come into work, right? But in our syllabus, mostly we have this pressure, temperature and area constant. Only sometimes the question comes with variable pressure, and we will see that part later on. Okay, so I hope till here everybody has understood. This is going to be our most used formula. So I hope till here you have understood what is diffusion, what is effusion, what is Graham's law of diffusion, one. When Graham's law is asked, we have to say with density. But the application of Graham's law take us to the molecular mass also, and in numerical we are going to use R1 by R2 equals to root under M2 by M1. And please remember, pressure, temperature and area is constant. Now we will see few numericals based on this Graham's law of diffusion. Okay. Well, so now we will do few numericals, a couple of numericals on the basis of Graham's law of diffusion. Okay. So let's read the first problem. Find the ratio between the rates of diffusions of helium and methane under same conditions of pressure, temperature and area. Please understand, this part may not be given in the question, but if it is not given, we will not think much. We will assume that some assumption we have to make at times, especially when solving numericals. Okay. So under same conditions of pressure and temperature is given, but like it is not given. So find the ratio between the rates of diffusion of helium and methane. So how to do it? What are the two gases? Even helium and methane. Now we know about their molecular mass. The molecular mass of helium is what? 4, and the molecular mass of methane is 16. 12 plus 4, right? 12 plus 4 because 4 hydrogen, so 16. So now what will you write? Now see, when ratio is asked, you have to maintain the order. So ratio of diffusion of helium and methane, so we have to calculate RHe by RCH4. You cannot do RCH4 upon RHe, because in ratio, if it is between helium and methane, then like helium will be at the top and methane will be at the bottom. So equals to root over molecular mass of methane divided by molecular mass of helium. So root over molecular mass of methane is 16 and helium is 4. So this comes to, you all know very well. So what will be the ratio? You can write RHe is to RCH4 equals to 2:1. And whenever you will be doing the ratio problem, again and again I am saying, you have to keep the order same. R helium, R methane, because helium first and then methane. Now let's read this problem, and after I read the problem, you will try solving this problem on your own, okay, by pausing the video. So find the ratio of rates of diffusion, same type of problem. Here 3 gases are given: diffusion of helium, methane and sulfur dioxide. So here 3 gases are given, right? What are the 3 gases? First one is helium, then methane and then SO2. For helium, the atomic mass is, molecular mass is 4 AMU. For methane, just now we have calculated 16, and for sulfur dioxide, sulfur is 32, right? And oxygen is 16. So 32 plus 2 multiply 16, so that is equals to 64, right? So R varies 1 by root under 4, here 1 by root under 16, here 1 by root under 64. So R varies, what we can write, 1 by 2, 1 by 4 and 1 by 8, right? So now these 4, 2 and 8, they are in the denominator, right? So now what to do? Like you multiply with their LCM. So 2, 4 and 8 LCM is what? 8. So what we can write are, if you are multiplying all these numbers by their LCM, 2, 4 and 8 LCM 8. So 8 multiply half is 4, 8 multiply 1 by 4 is 2 and 8 multiply 1 by 8 is 1. So the ratio will be 4:2:1, right? Now again you cross check whether the order is same or not. Helium, methane and sulfur dioxide, the order is same. So this is our answer. So I hope you understood these two numericals very nicely, because these are the first applications of Graham's law. Now I will be showing more of the application of Graham's law of diffusion. Okay. Now let's discuss the third numerical based on Graham's law of diffusion. So let's read the problem. The rate of diffusion of an unknown gas, okay, the rate of diffusion of an unknown gas is 1.73 times lesser than that of oxygen. Okay, so what is said, the rate of diffusion of an unknown gas is 1.73 times lesser than the rate of diffusion of oxygen. Okay, so the molecular mass of that unknown gas is to be calculated. So find the molecular mass of that unknown gas. So you know the formula, right? rate of diffusion of unknown gas. Suppose I am writing Rx, X is the unknown gas. R oxygen equals to molecular mass of oxygen divided by molecular mass of that unknown gas. Now you see the rate of diffusion of unknown gas is 1.73 times lesser. Okay, so if the rate of diffusion of the unknown gas is X, then oxygen's rate is more, right? So R of oxygen will be 1.73 multiply X, right? So Rx by RO2, it's going to be what? 1 by 1.73 equals to what we can write, molecular mass of oxygen is how much? Tell me. 16. 2 multiply 16, okay, because molecular mass, not the atomic mass, and unknown gas to be found out, right? So from here we can write the equation in this way. 32 by X equals to 1 by 1.73, right? Or else what we can write, root over X by 32 equals to 1.73. Now if you square X both sides squaring, you get 3. I hope you all remember the square root of 3 is 1.732, right? So 1.73 square will be approximately 3, right? So the value of X is 3 multiply 32 equals to 96, right? So the molecular mass of that unknown gas is how much? 96. I hope you understood this problem. See, like rate of this part you all know from the formula, okay, but 1.73 times lesser. So the rate of diffusion of the unknown gas is less, so say it is X. So rate of diffusion of oxygen will be 1.73 multiply X. I have put these two data here, 1 by 1.7 X by 1.73 X. So X and X get cancelled, you get 1 by 1.73. Now molecular mass of oxygen you know, 2 multiply 16 or 32. So from here I have written 32 root over 32 by X equals to 1 by 1.73. Root over X by 32 equals to 1.73. Okay, then X by 32 equals to 3. Squaring both sides, root over 3 is 1.72. So basically you get 3 and X equals to 96. So the molecular mass is 96 AMU. I hope you have understood this problem. Well, now what I am going to discuss, that is again one of the most important yet easy. Okay, so what I have written, significance or meaning of rate of diffusion. Till now we were talking about rate of diffusion R, R1, R2, RO2 by RCH4, RHE by RFO2, all this. But what do we actually signify? What do we actually mean by saying rate of diffusion of gases? Okay, so number one, in terms of volume. Okay, what I am saying in terms of volume. Suppose at a particular time interval, V amount of gas is being diffused. Okay, so rate V by T in at a particular time, a particular volume of gas is being diffused. So rate can be expressed in as volume by time as well. Number two, what I can say is in terms of mole. Suppose at a particular time interval, N number of moles of a certain gas is being diffused. So what will be the rate of that diffusion? N by T will also be like meant by rate of diffusion. So at T time, N number of mole being gets diffused. So rate can be measured as mole by time also. Number of mole gets diffused by the time. The third one, what we can say is distance. Now from here, often the question is said distance. Okay, suppose here one gas is there. Suppose this is the source of A gas and suppose this is the source of B gas, and both of them are there inside a pipeline. All right. So what happens basically? They will travel through the pipeline. So if they travel a distance D, they travel a length D, okay, or let's write it L, or else you may get confused with density. If they travel the distance L at a particular time interval, so L by T can also be signified by rate of diffusion. So these three are the special significance or meaning of rate of diffusion. Now based on this we have to perform some numericals. Okay, So see, like if T remains constant, so basically R is like either dependent on volume, R is either dependent on number of mole, or R is either dependent on length, right? So where we used to write R1 by R2, that can be replaced by V1 V2, N1 by N2, or L1 by L2. I hope you understood what I am saying. Suppose if like we want to write in terms of volume, then what we can write? V1 by V2 equals to root under M2 by M1 if T is same, right? And in all these cases pressure and temperature constant. If we are not discussing that, we are assuming that, okay? Then again in terms of mole also it can be written N1 by N2 equals to M2 by M1. Similarly in terms of L or the distance also it can be written how? Like L1 by L2 equals to root under M2 by M1. If what again and again I am saying if the T is same, because like the amount by time interval, that is only the rate. In this time interval this much volume, in this time interval this many moles, or in this time interval this much of length the gas molecules are traveling. So the rate will be what? Either volume by time or mole by time or the length covered by time. I hope you understood the significance or meaning of this rate of diffusion. Well, now based on the significance of diffusion, let's do two numericals. Okay. So the first numericals, what the numericals is given? 20 ml of helium is diffused in 5 seconds. Find the volume of oxygen that will be diffused in 10 seconds. Okay. Please understand here also these terms are given under similar conditions of pressure and temperature. Okay. So directly what will you write? 20 ml of helium and like you have to find out the volume. Now rate equals to what we have understood, volume by time. So we knew the formula like R of helium divided by R of helium and the another gas is oxygen. R of oxygen equals to molecular mass of oxygen under molecular mass of oxygen by molecular mass of helium, right? So instead of R, what we can write? Volume of helium by time of helium divided by volume of oxygen divided by time of oxygen equals to, now molecular mass of oxygen is 32, molecular mass of helium is 4, right? So from here what we can write, volume of helium is given 20 ml and it is getting diffused in 5 seconds. You have to calculate the volume of oxygen in 10 seconds and here it will be root over 8, right? So from here what you can write is, if you just simplify this part, it will be 5 V, like actually V by 10, if I write one more step, V by 10 divided by 20 by 5 equals to 1 by root 8, that is 2 root 2, right? Now from here what we can write, 5V divided by 200 equals to 1 by 2 root 2, right? So from here what we can write, V equals to like 20 by root 2 or 20, like 200 goes up 100, so 20 by root 2, or else what we can write, 10 root 2. Okay, so 10 root 2 ml of oxygen will be diffused. Okay, this is your answer, 10 root 2 ml of oxygen. Please don't forget to write the unit. 10 root 2 ml of oxygen will be diffused in 10 seconds. Okay, I hope you understood this numerical. Like rate equals to volume by time. You have to remember that if time, volume all are given, right children? Now let's come to this question. This is one of the most interesting questions. If you understand this properly, your concept will be absolutely clear. So let's see what is said. 24 grams of hydrogen is effused. Okay, same thing, diffused, same thing. Effused through a hole, through a pinhole, through a fine orifice. All these terms can be used. Please don't be nervous seeing those terms. So 24 grams of hydrogen is effused in 5 seconds. Find the time taken for same volume of oxygen to be effused. Okay, this is to be effused, right? So volume, right? but here it is given in grams. So mass and volume, how it is related? Through mole, right? So let's write, if we all know mole and volume, they are like directly proportional. According to Avogadro's law, we know mole and volume, they are same. So if we just convert this mass of hydrogen into mole, our job will be done, right? So and R equals to V by T. Another way we know R equals to what? Mole by time also. That is also I have taught you just now, right? So what I am writing, that same volume of gas to be effused, right? So I am writing mole of hydrogen by time of hydrogen divided by mole of oxygen divided by time of oxygen equals to root over C. Like oxygen I am writing down, molecular mass of oxygen divided by molecular mass of hydrogen, right? So now the mole of hydrogen, 24 grams is W, like number of mole N equals to, I hope you remember, W by M. W is the given mass, M is the molecular mass, N is number of mole. So number of mole equals to given mass by molecular mass. So instead of N of H2 and for nitrogen NH2 equals to, it will be 24. The molecular mass of hydrogen is 2, not 1. 1 is the atomic mass, 2 is the molecular mass, right? So 12 moles are there in 24 grams of hydrogen. So I am writing 12 by TH2, that is 5 seconds. 24 gram, that is getting effused in 5 seconds, right? Now find the same volume of oxygen to be effused, okay? So now I am writing same, so I am writing 12, okay, because mole and volume, they are directly proportional. So if 12 mole, the volume of 12 mole of hydrogen and 12 mole of oxygen is same. So same volume, same mole can be taken, right, because of Avogadro's law. So 12 by TO2 I am writing, time we have to calculate. Now molecular weight of oxygen is 32, hydrogen is 2. So this is this, right? So from here can we write time taken by oxygen divided by 5 equals to 4, right? 12 get cancelled, time of O2 went up, 5 came down, so time of O2 divided by 5 equals to 4. So from here what we can write, time of oxygen equals to 20. So what we can write, 20 seconds will be taken, 20 seconds will be taken. So I hope you understood this sum very nicely. Okay, this sum is very important for understanding part. I hope these two numericals are clear and your understanding also has improved for Graham's law of diffusion. Two more numericals on based on the significance of Graham's law of diffusion. I think you can try these all on your own by pausing the video, but quickly I will solve it for you. Okay. X ml of hydrogen is effused through a hole by 5 seconds. So volume by time x by 5 equals to same volume of oxygen. So x, that is our volume is same. The time taken you have to calculate, right? So x by t. Okay, hydrogen by oxygen, so molecular mass of oxygen divided by molecular mass of hydrogen. So that is equals to 32 by 2. So this is root over 16, that is 4, right? So I can write T by 5 equals to 4. So implies that what I can write, T equals to 20, right? So for the same volume of oxygen, 20 seconds will be taken. You can you should try it on your own. Now you try this one also you can be able to do it on your own. I hope you have understood this one. X by 5, volume by time, the volume is same for hydrogen and oxygen, okay. So UT by 5 equals 20, so 20 seconds will be taken, right? So and now this one, please pause the video and try it on your own, don't see mine. But if you cannot, then you have to see mine, okay. 48 grams of methane, right? 48 grams. So moles, mass is given, that means what? Mole, with mass we have no direct relation, right? So if mass is given, through mole we have to connect. So I am writing N of methane divided by, I am not writing so much, you all try, I have done many sums, now I will be writing directly 48 divided by 16 divided by 10 equals to find the mass of helium. So x by 4, the molecular mass of methane is 16, molecular mass of helium is 4. In the same time, so here also 10, right? So helium, molecular mass of helium divided by molecular mass of methane. Now molecular mass of helium is 4, methane is 16, so 4 by 16. So this is nothing but 1 by 2, right? So what we can write from here, x multiply 16 by 4 multiply 48 equals to 1 by 2. X by 16 equals to 4 multiply 48. Sorry. X multiply, just a minute. Okay. So what we will write, 48 by 16, so x by 4. So I am writing 16x by 48 multiply 4 equals to 2. Both sides I have changed, right? So from here you can calculate the value of x. X equals to 2 multiply 4 multiply 48 divided by 16. So I think you should get 32, right? Sorry, 16 3s are 48, so 3 2s are 6, 24. So 24 seconds will be, 24 grams of methane. You have to find out the mass. So 24 grams of methane will be diffused in the same time. 48 grams of methane is diffused in 10 seconds. So moles of, like we have calculated moles of methane. This is the moles of helium. So now we have done this formula and we have got 24 grams, right? I hope you understood. Here also we have used that formula. N equals to W by N. Number of mole equals to given mass by molecular mass. So I hope you understood these two problems as well. Now we are going to discuss one very important type of problem, important, interesting and easy. Okay. Suppose there is a pipeline. And through this side hole and in two sides there are two holes. Through this side hole ammonia is sent and through this side hole hydrogen chloride gas is sent, right? And the total distance of the pipe is given. The first question that will be asked is like at what distance, okay, from ammonia, or suppose this is side A, suppose this is side B. At what distance from A or at what distance from B the dense white fume will be formed for the first time. Now you know ammonia plus HCl NH4Cl, that gives the dense white fume. Now the molecular mass M of NH3 is how much? 17, 14 plus 3, right? Similarly, the molecular mass of HCl is 36.5. For hydrogen it is 1, for chlorine it is 35.5. So 36.5. Very easy, please understand. We have said one formula, rate can be length by time also. We are going to apply that. Suppose the dense white fume is formed at a distance of L, from A. So if this distance is L, so this distance is going to be, total is 2, this is L, so this will be 2 by L, right? And the time taken will be same if we send the gas together at the very same point of time. So when the dense white fume will be formed, ammonia has also taken T time and HCl has also taken T time. So we can write L by say T divided by 2 minus L by T equals to molecular mass of HCl by molecular mass of ammonia, right? Because this part is for HCl, so T gets cancelled. So what we can write, L by 2 minus L equals to what we can get, 36.5 divided by 17, right? So now if you divide, you will get L by 2 minus L, this will come almost around 2.21, okay. But if we just assume it to be 2.25, let's assume this is 2. You check the multiplication, it should come somewhere like 2.21. But we are taking as 2.25 so that we can do the root. So L by 2 minus L equals to 1.5. the square root of 2.25 is 1.5. 15 square is to 25, right? From there. So what we can write here, L equals to 3 minus 1.5L. So what we can write is 2.5L. L plus 1.5L equals to 3. So implies that L equals to what? 3 by 2.5 or 30 by 25, right? Or 6 by 5 or 1.2, right? So A equals to 1.2. Therefore, the dense white fume will be observed at a distance of 1.2 meter from A and 0.8 meter from B. I hope you understood this numerical very well, right? The question is asked at what distance the dense white film will be produced. Okay, so this is also very important to understand, and if you understand this, very easy and it is important as well. I hope you understood this numerical well. Let's do another sum based on this concept, Graham's law of diffusion. Okay, so let's read the problem. 20 ml of helium is effused through a hole in 10 seconds and at a pressure of 2 atmospheric pressure. Now till now, whatever like sums we were doing, there we were saying that we will assume the pressure and temperature is constant. But here what will we do? Like the pressure is 2 atmosphere of the helium, right, which is being diffused 20 ml in 10 seconds. Find the volume of methane that can be diffused in the same time at a pressure of 1 atmospheric pressure. Volume you have to calculate. So here pressure is not constant given in 2 atmospheric pressure, but you have to calculate in 1 atmospheric pressure, right? In the beginning of that class, this class I have told you, like the rate depends on these many things: pressure, area, like whether fusion is taking place, temperature and molecular mass, right? So can we write in this way, P root under M? Okay, so till now we were writing 1 by root under M when P, A and T were constant. If P is not constant, then P will remain. So the formula will look like now R1 by R2. Till now it was root over M2 by M1, but you see R and pressure, they are directly proportional. So this will be P1 by P2. So if pressure is given, this is going to be our working formula. Now simply we will apply this. Now here volume is given, rate is not given, right? And volume is given means what? You know the time. So I am writing volume of helium divided by time of helium divided by volume of methane divided by time of methane equals to pressure of, at the top helium is there, so pressure will be same. See R1 P1 but M2, right? So volume of helium, that means VHG by DHG, that means what? Rate of diffusion of helium, pressure of helium divided by pressure of methane, then root under molecular mass of methane divided by molecular mass of helium. Now we will just put the given data. Volume of helium is given 20 ml, right? Time I am assuming as 10 seconds, but time is same, I think. Okay, at the same time, so 10 will be cancelled. Anyway, I am writing 10 seconds. Now volume of methane you have to calculate. Find the volume of methane, right? So volume of methane I am keeping as it is, and same time, so 10 seconds has been set. Now PHE by PCH4. PHE is 2 atmospheric pressure, P methane is 1 atmospheric pressure. Now molecular mass of methane 16, 12 plus 4, molecular mass of helium is 4, right? So this part will be 2 by 1 is 2 and 4 for the 16, this will be 2 multiplied 2 or 4. So what we can write is here VCH4 divided by 20 ml equals to 1 by 4. Yes or no? 10 second gets cancelled. 20 ml by VCH4 is 4. So VCH4 by 20 ml will be 1 by 4. So from here what we can write is volume of methane will be 20 ml by 4 equals to 5 ml, right? So what is the answer will be there? 5 ml will be the volume of the methane that can be diffused at the same pressure, at a pressure of 1 atmospheric pressure and in the same time. So 5 ml is the answer. I hope you understood this problem. No, like nothing much change, only P1 by P2 that joins in the root under M2 by M1, right? This formula is very important, children. I hope you understood Graham's law of diffusion and you enjoyed this portion of the chapter gaseous state. Take care, stay well. Thank you.